Alright, welcome to a brand spanking new video. Hi, my name is Xavier Caffrey, and in this video, I'm going to be sharing with you some valuable information that I've gained in the past year on how you can get a job. Now, I know what you're thinking. Who the fuck am I to tell you how to get a job? And yeah, that's completely fair. So let me tell you a little bit of who I am. Alright, so in the past 6 years, I've dropped out of university twice. I've graduated from a fitness and health promotion program out of college. I never kept a job for more than 3 months, so guess what? I decided to be a fucking magician for a whole almost like year and a half. But somehow, I now managed to get myself in a position where I got 4 job offers in a global pandemic. And now I'm actually currently working with an amazing tech company selling software, in addition to working with a marketing agency, and I'm working on the most exciting projects I've ever come across. That has given me the opportunity to learn so many new skills and just generally enjoy what I do. Now, if all of that didn't pique your interest, not even a tiny wee bit, I'm gonna need you to watch whatever is recommended on the left, because you and your negative energy don't deserve to be with us right now. For those of you who are still watching and listening, I decided to break down my journey into 6 different pillars or steps, however you want to call it, as to how you can also get a job during this horrible time. Step number 1, meditate and self-reflect. Meditate and self-reflect as to where you are currently in your career. You could be a student, you could be a university dropout, you could be someone watching this video who has a lot of experience in X amount of field. X amount? You know what I mean. Whatever the case is, just be aware of who you are and what your surroundings are. And I know that sounds absolutely crazy. You're like, dude, obviously I know who I am and I know what's going on around me. You'd be really surprised, to be honest with you. On top of that, it's not that time consuming. Just sit there and ask yourself, what am I actually going after? Am I qualified for this job? Do I add value to this position? Can I apply my knowledge and my previous experiences to this job? And a huge thing is you should also take into consideration what's happening around us right now. Last time I checked, there wasn't really a manual on how to navigate life during a pandemic. With that being said, once you fully understand that last point I just made, you have to understand as well that the ability to adapt is going to be your strongest asset. I chose to make this the very first point because a lot of people aren't getting any jobs, or to be honest with you, they're just like unhappy with their life because they approach things with a negative mindset / negative attitude. Once you understand that a lot of the things that are happening right now are unfortunately out of your control, and that you choose to take action versus just sitting around complaining and doing nothing, you'll be way ahead of the game. Trust me. Alright, step number 2, get a professional to write your resume. I'm willing to bet you watching this either haven't updated your resume in so long, or you just kind of put it together on a Microsoft Word document and just like wish for the best. That's not going to cut it, guys. On average, recruiters look at your resume for 6 seconds. 6. You really want to risk those 6 seconds on a regular schmegular document that looks like the template that thousands of other people have already used. Now listen, I'm not a great writer at all. Actually, I'm horrible. So I reached out to my network and had one of my closest friends actually help me out to put together a really solid resume. And that's another tip for you actually right there, is to tap in your existing network. There's a lot of value there. Tip number 3, LinkedIn, baby. It's where it's at. Guys, it's 2020. If you're not on LinkedIn, you're sleeping, hibernating, snoring, mama bear type of snoring, like it's horrible. Get on LinkedIn. The absolute very first thing I did when I decided I needed to get a job was to go on LinkedIn and just start navigating my way around. Now, if you're still not confused, I'm gonna share with you some stats that might get you a little bit excited about the platform. First one, there's 706 million users on the platform. To put that into perspective, that's a lot of people. 2, 90 million LinkedIn users are senior level influencers, and 63 million users are in decision-making positions. What does that mean? It means stop DMing sugar daddies on Instagram and talk to these guys. They'll do you a whole lot better. Third stat, only 3 million LinkedIn users share content on a weekly basis. Be 3,000,001 and start sharing content. 4, there's 100 million job applications on LinkedIn every single month. Now, I know that could be intimidating, but I'm going to break down how you're going to stand out of all these people. And the last one's my favorite one. The most overused word on LinkedIn is specialized. Now, I'm going to save you a lot of time here, because if you are watching this video, I hate to break it to you, but you're not specialized in anything, or else you would not be watching this, let's be honest. So don't use it. Just do not, avoid it. Please, don't use it. All right, hopefully those numbers got you a little bit excited. All right, now that we got these stats out of the way, I happen to have a very good understanding of how important it is to have a very good first impression. Now with LinkedIn, like if you have a lot of experience, then you're pretty much set. It's hard to mess it up, it really is. Now if you're like me and you didn't really have that much experience, well, you're gonna have to activate your trap card. I need a card, one second. The art of bullshitting. Listen, I'm not telling you to lie, but sometimes stretching the truth just a little bit can go really far. I'll give you an example. Let's say you helped your buddy throw a huge house party because you wanted to celebrate that he got a new car. Now, you might think that's completely irrelevant in the workforce. I completely disagree. Because if I was you, I would say something like, implemented a successful social media campaign that generated 5,000 plus impressions per post, which was one of the main pillars behind my client's successful product launch. You see what I mean? And this is actually a perfect way to transition into tip number 4. You have to stop waiting to get experience. So check this out. I hear this from a lot of people. How am I supposed to get a job if I don't have any experience? How am I supposed to get experience if I don't have any job? Right, mad confusing, totally get it. It's like the whole chicken and egg dilemma. I understand, but you're not here to listen to me just state problems. You want a solution. But fair warning, you're not gonna like the solution. You guys ever heard the saying, the best time to plant a tree was 20 years ago and the second best time is right now? Stop waiting for others to give you experience and just go out there and get it yourself. If anything, you'll stand out a whole lot more if you do that. Recruiters and decision makers absolutely love seeing that you took the initiative to start something, and it could be anything. So for example, if you're an app developer, right, and you like photography, then spend the weekend and try to create an app that supports photography one way or another. And then use that project as your value proposition as to why you would be a good fit for the company. And if you're too scared to start something on your own, then fuck it. Work for free. And here's the thing, way too many people try to boost your ego and tell you, oh no, you're worth every dime, don't work for free, blah, blah. Like, shut up. That's why I mentioned in the very beginning, it's very important to meditate and realize where you're at, because if you don't have that much value to give, then there's a reason why you're not getting a job. You're probably better off getting experience in exchange for your time, opposing to getting money in exchange for your time. Because the thing is, as cheesy as it sounds, like you probably hear this a lot, I'll take knowledge over money any day. Because once you have that knowledge, that shit stays with you all the time. At the end of the day, you're getting hired because there's a problem that needs to be solved. By showcasing that you can solve problems, especially if it was a problem that you chased after all on your own, that's kind of like you telling the recruiters that you don't require to be babysitted. And that's the last thing these senior level execs or managers are looking to do. And I really want to use this opportunity to highlight something that I did, so you can tell that I'm not just talking out of my ass. This is something that I gathered from experience. So I worked for one of the biggest social media brands in Canada for almost 5 months for free, not a single dime. And I'm not gonna sit here and tell you I was so okay with it. Of course, it pissed me off at some points, but because I stuck through it and I put it on my LinkedIn profile, you guys, by the way, can click down below and you can see it. The very first job I got in the pandemic was almost solely because of that. Okay, tip number 5. People want to work with interesting people, guys. Let me ask you something. Do you have a cool story to share? Great. Write it as a post it on LinkedIn, and make sure you highlight it as a featured article. Let me ask you another question. Do you have a hobby that you're really passionate about? I bet you do. Include it in your bio on LinkedIn. Guys, you need to understand, these recruiters, these C-level execs, blah, X, Y, and Z, they're human, believe it or not. They breathe, they poop, they eat, just like us. And when you do get hired, you'll be spending more time with them than you do with your family. So is this starting to make sense that whoever hires you is probably thinking, am I gonna have fun working with this person? Do they have something that I can connect with? And there's some universal traits that you can highlight, like confidence, the ability to listen. These small details, they go really far, guys. If you get a chance to be interviewed by someone, make sure you're showing who you really are. Because the most attractive version of yourself that you can be is your true self. Cheesy, I know, but you needed to hear it. And now the very last point. This is something I live and die by. Your network is your network. Now, I remember vividly, 3 years ago, I had one of those epiphanies where I looked around me and I realized, fuck, I'm surrounded by losers. Or a better way to say it, was choosing to surround myself around people who aren't winning in life at all. And sometimes, guys, you have to be selfish. So if you feel like they're dragging you down more than you're lifting them up, it's time to cut them loose. So once I started surrounding myself by people who are more open-minded, more positive-minded, people who had value to give, I started catching way more dubs, guys. I just did. You are the product of your environment. So the more you believe that, and the more you put yourself out there, your chances of, at this point, it's not just about getting a job or anything positive in your life, it just keeps going up. Now I'm old school. I'm one to think that the best way to connect with people is in person. But remember what I said in the beginning of the video. It is really important for you to have the ability to adapt. So if you're a people's person and you're better at communicating in real life, sorry buddy, you're gonna find a way to type whatever you feel on a keyboard or your phone. Use Zoom. Again, be creative. Utilize many of the tools that you have in your hands, and a lot of them are probably for free, to tap into these networks that can help you out. And guys, you'd be surprised. People are actually nice. If you show that you're authentic and you're genuinely looking to learn, you will get the information and then some. And what's really crazy is, if I have to think back of who I was as a person 3 years ago, someone who was depressed, fucking alcoholic, was doing drugs, wasn't working out at all, I was like this thin, was eating junk food all the time, didn't have a job, dropped out of university, the list can go on. And who I am now, I shit you not, it all started with one conversation. But I'm gonna save that story for another time. Alright guys, this is the end of the video. I really hope you got something valuable out of this, because no joke, the reason why I even decided to make this video is a lot of the conversations that I was having with friends or acquaintances were often about this topic. How do you get a job during a pandemic? And I felt like I was just repeating myself constantly with so many people, so I figured, you know what? Let me just make a video so everyone can see the same information that I keep spitting out to so many different people. Now, I get it. I could have easily gone to way more details, especially about LinkedIn, because there is a science behind it. It's not just go on LinkedIn and you'll get a job. So if you are interested in a more in-depth video / analysis of LinkedIn, then please just let me know in the comments down below and I'll do it. But other than that, if you stuck all the way to the end of this video, you're a real one. Thank you so much. I appreciate you and your time. And hopefully I'll see you in another video sometime in the next, I don't know.